Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it? You already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye up, bye up. In a Menudo style in direct fashion, we're going to get straight to it. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're continuing to go up on this channel. And it's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled. And I'm very appreciative, man. Thank you guys very much. So, I have this series that I do on the Collective Clips, Super Norteño. But I also have Super Wood. And I thought that if for no other reason, I should slide Super Wood over here. So that way I could spread these stories out, man. You get a little bit of everything on every channel. And that's just the way it's going to be from now on. Super Wood will be very prevalent right here. So, who's the Super Wood? Well, those that know and have watched part 1, 2, and 3, 4 know. That's the homie Roach, right? Not Cucaracha. Well, I called him Cucaracha, right? But hey, brother, got meth, right? That was the homeboy Roach. He was always into something, like I said. Besides my primo's house, the Super Norteño's ghetto house, Roach's was damn near. It was like a food stamp to $1. It was damn near there, right? You know, the type of white guy that just has the front window that he does cartwheels out of. Plenty of lawnmowers, plenty of gas-powered mopeds, all kinds of different things in his front yard. That was the makeup. A lot of glassware. A lot of fucking boxing matches. A lot of red phosphorus, brother, right? There was a lot going on there. But he had a cast of characters he used to hang around. And of course, I got introduced to him by my primo, Super Norteño. And our relationship became something else, man. It just became to the point where, because he only lived about 4 or 5 blocks away from me, I used to slide to his pad on the daily. He was just a cool character to be around. He was always into some shit scheming. And I don't know about you, but if you've ever hung around real woods, you know, they're a trip. They like to horseplay. They like to fucking tell you some outlandish stories. They like to get with the business, right? And this guy was heavily involved at a different level. You know, he had been in and out of prison his whole life. And he had functioned. He was an active Wood. Now, I know a lot of people are under the assumption that when it comes to the Wood brothers, right, that they don't associate with Norteños. But that's furthest from the truth. To be totally honest with you, in Northern California, a lot of the Coco County Woods, a lot of the Mendocino County, Merced County, Fresno, Sacramento, all these different counties from up north where there's a lot of woods, there's a heavy wood presence, which are white guys. For those of you that don't know, white men, right? I don't say white boys on my channel. I say white men because I give everyone that respect and that acknowledgement for being men. That's what they are. So all these white men, they're pretty deep. Pretty thick, especially in the prison system, in the California prison system. You're going to have a gang of cars. You're going to have the Macramaniacs, the Fresnecs, Coco County Woods or Skins. You're going to have Humboldt County Woods. You're just going to have a lot of different white factions, but they all come together to fight for what they believe in is their race, brother. And we're more superior than others. They're crazy, right? And then, of course, you have the Southern Woods and Skins. You know, the IE has a big presence, San Bernardino, Riverside, all that. You're going to have a lot of them. Orange County Skins are very notorious and historically known. So there's always going to be a Wood presence in prison. They're probably not the deepest car, not even close to the deepest car, but they're with the activities. Well, Roach was one of them fellas. And Roach had introduced me to a guy we called Mini-Pimp, right? The Macramaniac. I used to call him the Micromaniac because he swore up and down he was originally from Sacra and that he was part of the Sacramento Sacramaniac car, right? Now, the Sacramaniacs are a notorious group in prison of Woods. Very known, and there's been a lot of stories told about them. They get off where they're mad at. But this is a story about the Macramaniac, right? Or the Micromaniac. Little short guy, and how he got into conflict with a big old Wood, right? And he decided that if for no other reason, he was going to put dick beaters all over this guy. Until the guy down there squeezed his head off, right? It was just crazy. So I go to Roach. Roach gives me a call, and he's like, hey, brother, you want to take me up to Sacra? I'm like, to where? To Sacra. I said, you mean Sactown, brother? I'm like, yeah. He's like, give me a ride up there, man. I'll cash you out. I'll pay for gas. We'll go eat, whatever. I'm going to introduce you to some of the fellas. And I was always skeptical about going on Roach's missions because they were always meth-filled. If you understand, hey, pull over right here to the rest stop, brother. I got to blow a few clouds. He was always in that, and then he gravitated from blowing. Well, he was a little bit of everything. Hey, brother, he always carried this little black case, I remember. And he'd be like, hey, pull over right here. You know, I gotta fix something up. He wasn't fixing flux capacitors. He was fixing that arm up, right? And he, brothers, I'm on, right? I'd be like, damn, Roach. He'd be like, let's go. I'm like, I'm already doing 80. That's it, brother, right? Hurry up. So we'd get to where we're going all the time, barely. But he introduced me to a lot of people, and I was never in danger. I never felt in danger. Well, there was a couple of cases where it was like, this motherfucker left me high and dry or went on his own mission. Hey, I got with this Featherwood, brother. I'll be right back. 9 hours later, I'm still kicking back with a whole bunch of bikers looking around like, oh, shit, I'm Mexican, right? I better watch out. So anyways, he had decided, to go up to Sac to go visit the little homie who had just moved, I guess, back out there to his hometown, Mini Pimp, right? So little Micro Wood, which we call, his real name was Dwarf Wood, right? But like I said, I called him the Macramaniac. So we slide up to Sac in this little neighborhood that's predominantly blacks called Oak Park. Okay, now, Oak Park, I've done time with Oak Park since YA, right? The Oak Park Bloods, OPN, Oak Park Norteños. So I kind of had a little bit of a history with Oak Park, or I knew of, but I had never been to the original, to really Oak Park at that time, or back ever. So this was my first time going there, and there's a lot. When you go to Oak Park, it's hood. Okay, there's a lot of brothers outside, blunt smoke in the air, Newport in the wind. You know what I'm saying? 40 ounces everywhere. Sacramento's really political and really on their gang shit. So I already know about Sac, and at this time, I'm non-active, right? So I got to dip into Sac and dip out of Sac. I can't be all up in Sacramento just wiggling, because at the end of the day, if someone hits me up, I'm not the type of individual to try to be a chameleon and blend in. I'm going to fucking tell them, brother, right? But because I'm hanging around with white guys, maybe I can blend in, right? So I'm hanging with Roach, who's a scraggly, scrawny, skinny, sucked up white villain, right? This is the type of, he is Wood. He's the poster child for Wood. That's why he's super Wood. I mean, he'll see people walking down the street, and he'll be like, hey, brother, I got that shit with legs, right? They'll be all hypey and hooked, and he'll hook them up too. He'll be like, try that shit, and then fucking call me. Here's my number. He'll give him his mother's number. He still lives with his mom, right? His mom's a trip too. She's on a good one. The type, they have that type of relationship, that kind that my super Norteño cousin has with his mom. She loves him to death, but she hopes he dies. That one. So anyways, we pull up to fucking Macramaniac, the Macramaniac's house, and I don't know if you've ever been into a dwarf's home, or what they like to call little people, right? Small guy. So their shit is built for them. So it was like walking into a hobbit house, a dirty fucking roach-infested, oily hobbit house, right? So imagine that. So we mob up in that motherfucker, right? What's cracking? And, I'm used to roaches. I mean, they're in my DNA. So when I see the roaches, I'm like, I ain't even really tripping off them. Like, all right, homie. And, I'm not used to lawnmower parts in your living room, but I mean, the white brothers live different. Right, so as I navigate myself around fucking, a whole bunch of fucking BMX bikes and some car parts that are literally in the living room, I said, hey, bro, let me take a piss real quick. He's like, yeah, go ahead. So as I go through the hallway, I open the door, and there's a short chick, a mini chick, right, a micro mini chick. And I'm tripping like, damn, this dude usually has, every time I've been around him, he usually has some tall Featherwood, thin-ass white. And these are the type of guys that we don't sleep outside our race, brother. They still think they're in prison, right? I just happen to get affiliated and associated with these type of woods. It's meth to the death, brother, right? It has legs. They're crazy. And they usually, they'll throw like little subliminal racial shit out there, but not being racist towards me. The type that'd be like, I don't like essays. No offense. I'd be like, oh, it's all good, Brian, tripping. Yeah, I'm fucking dirty motherfucker. What? What'd you say? I did no offense, brother. Right? That's the shit they're on. They forget I'm there, but they bring me around for whatever reason. Maybe because I'm the ride. So anyways, I walk down the hallway. I see this little short chick. She scares me half to death because I'm not used to little people like that. I ain't gonna lie. She was like, wait up, I'm using the restroom. And as she's coming out, I'm going in. And I'm not gonna lie. It's even if you wanted to slap her on your ass, you couldn't, because it'd be like fucking reaching down to your ankles. So she walks by, a big old booty. I'm like, damn, but she's all sucked up in the face. Have you ever seen a little person on dope? Well, I did, and I can tell you right now, she looked like a mix between Beyonce and the Crypt Keeper. So as she keeps pushing, I'm looking at the homeboy like, what is that, right? He's like, cat pillar, brother. And every once in a while, they'll bust out with some words that you only hear Africanos and Mexicans use, right? And they were in prison because they hear words and then they utilize them. But they always say them all fucked up. They're like, yeah, brother, she's lit, brother, right? She's lit, like the party's lit. No, like she's fucking high as fuck, right? So, anyways, I use the bathroom, I come out, and these guys are discussing some shit, and I guess the little Wood, he had been having issues with some big dude that needed to pay him some money. And so Roach, believe it or not, Roach was the connect. Roach was the guy that always had something, was always sitting on peace, right? He was always sitting. And I think that's why our relationship was cool, because I can move a little something, something. Not saying I did, but for content purposes, let's just say I can move a little something, something. And he always had a little something, something. Now, it wasn't always the good stuff, but he had stuff, you know? So it would be like, fools would be like, hey, I need a teener. I got you, bro. Hey, Roach, come on down. You're the next contestant on. I got all the shit, right? So I'd go to his house. I'd hear his mom screaming and yelling at him. I'm tired of you selling fucking dope out of my house. You know, where is that 16th I put up here next to the fucking plates? This motherfucker had dope in his cabinets. Hey, bro, can I get a sip of water? Yeah, hey, yeah, the cups are right there. Don't open that cabinet. There's fucking triple beam scales and dope right there. It smells like straight caca when you open the thing. Shards everywhere. Shards falling everywhere. You could literally just do this and just go against this cabinet and lick your hand and you're wide awake for at least 4 days, right? Ain't that shit. So anyways, he had been, that's why he was going to Sac all the time. Because, yeah, I guess he had been going there. He'd been dropping shit off to Lil Guy. And Lil Guy was getting all the brothers high. He was the connect in the area at that point in time. Or he said he was. But he was dealing with a big biker dude. And he said it was one of his homeboys who was a Sacramaniac. And that they did time together. And that they had ran together and did some fucking shit. It was his boy, but his boy was not coming through with the money. Basically burned him. Now, I can only imagine if you owe a gang of money to a guy that's only this big, what do? You flick him, right? But don't get it twisted. Just because a motherfucker's that tall doesn't mean he won't hornswoggle you, right? So this guy was really with the business. So they're sitting there plotting and planning to do some bad things to a guy that's about 450 pounds. I'm going to find out, right? And of course they're involving me. So this is the little dude. He was funny because he had like a little squeaky voice. He was just like Mini-Me. He'd be like, look it, this is what we're going to do, brother. So you're going to pull up. Then you're going to go around the corner. And I'm going to fucking stab the shit out of this big motherfucker. And you're going to fucking be right there because you're going to have to pick me up and just take off running because I can't run that fast because see the way my legs work, I'm like, oh shit. These guys are involving me in a straight murder fucking conspiracy. I don't really want to be involved. So I'm over there trying to pop that Skeletor chick, right? And she's like, you want me to make you something to eat? She goes, I'm not really hungry, bitch. I know you're not hungry. I could tell. You haven't looked like you've been hungry since 3 days ago, right? So she's over there cooking eggs. Why is it that tweakers don't know how to make eggs? And why is it that they have a lifetime supply of Mountain Dew in the refrigerator? She opened her refrigerator and I swear there was a box of baking soda, some old ass moldy spaghetti, and a gang of Mountain Dews. And the little micro guy's telling the story. He's like, so yeah, as soon as I fucking stick the knife through it, hey honey, can you throw me a fucking Mountain Dew? Right? So she throws it at him. Damn near, the Mountain Dew's bigger than his head. So he's over there fucking, I've never seen in my life someone slam a whole Mountain Dew. This motherfucker takes it to the fucking can, pulls back. And so Roach is like, what, can I get one, brother? My mouth's kind of dry from all the good dope I got. It's got legs, right? I'm like, oh shit. So I'm not really trying to be involved in what they got going on, but I know I am. So I'm thinking, I tell him, hey, look, bro, is it really that serious? Why can't you just, if it's your homeboy, why can't you just tell him? He's like, you don't understand Sacramaniacs, right? He was like, brother, they'll fucking kill you, right? I know, because I'm one. Now, Roach had pulled me to the side before and said, that motherfucker's living in a fantasy world. He was just a regular old wood that happened to be from Sacramento, but feels he's affiliated. Now, according to his story, he was on a high level, had status, and he was on his Wes Watson shit, right? You know, we'll tell you a whole bunch of stories, but had really never been there. You know, this guy did more time in the shoe, but there's never been a person that I've ever talked to that remembers him from the shoe. And you're going to remember a fucking Oompa Loompa walking around there. Guaranteed, right? So anyways, it's his story. I'll let him tell it. I'm like, fuck you. We're going to pull up on this dude. I'm with the woods, brother. It is what it is, right? I'm looking around for maybe a Guns N' Roses or Judas Priest fucking t-shirt to throw on so that I can go undercover. I'm already light-skinned it, so at that point in time, man, it's not going to be nothing. So we pull up, okay? It's like a trailer courts, and it's on the north side of Sac, kind of like where Chito Ranas' hood is. And there's a trailer court, or it's not really a trailer. Well, it is a trailer court, but they got like those manufactured homes. It's a decent-looking one. It ain't all ghetto like that, right? I'm sure they have roaches too. This particular point in time in my life, I mean, there wasn't a house that I walked into that didn't have roaches. That was like, you walked into a house that didn't have roaches, it was like, this motherfucker thinks he's cool as shit because he ain't got roaches. He thinks he's better than us, right? Come on, bro. If you ain't got a roach, we can't trust you. That was a rule in the game. If you didn't have roaches in your house, you'll probably tell on us, right? Facts. So, because, that was the struggle. Roaches were like normal. You don't know how many times I went into Roach's house and his mom was like, I'm fucking tired of all this Raid everywhere, all these Raid cans and batteries in my living room. And Roach be sleeping and literally roaches are crawling on him. And he just do this. It's crazy. So, but I could trust him. Crazy Wood. He did some shit. He did some time. But I'll tell you that much. Hey, that motherfucker took cases for everybody. So anyways, Roach is like, he's looking at me. He's like, let me talk to you, brother. So I go out there and he's like, this little motherfucker's going to get us caught up in a murder conspiracy. I'm like, exactly what I was thinking, bro. We should just drop his ass off right there with Bull Hurley and leave, right? He was like, but he's my brother, man. I've known this guy for a long time, and he's a solid little motherfucker. I said, nah, he's cool. But at the same time, bro, do you want to go do time with that solid little motherfucker? I don't. Because personally, man, I'm your enemy. So when I go into prison, well, I'm non-active, but still, we don't get along in prison. So anyways, and there's people that think that the woods in Northern California don't function with Norteños. That's a lie. The lie detector test determined that was a lie. The woods and Norteños do a lot of interaction, a lot of business on the streets. It's when you get incarcerated that the shenanigans, the games, and the politics become more prevalent than your relationships, and they just have to play the role. I've been in prison plenty of times with woods that I knew from the streets, from the county, Merced County woods, and I'd be like, we just hit each other with like, oh, what's up, but as far as like functioning, we don't function on the same side of the yard, day room, none of that. So, you can't have that interaction. It's fucked up. That's the life you have to live. That's part of being incarcerated in prison and the racial makeup of prison, in California at least, is that a dude that you fucking grew up with was your crimey fucking, just because he's a different ethnicity, you can now no longer, talk to him like that. There could be a high and by and a lot of respect. But even at the end of the day, if something cracks off, there's been a thing where we got into it with the whites when I was active, and I knew a dude from Merced County was a good little motherfucker, right? And I told him, hey, bro, if something cracks, you got to go that way, bro, because I'm going to be forced to put a whole bunch of metal in you. And he was like, you think I won't, brother? I'll fucking stab the dogs. I was like, God damn, is that a threat? That could start off a war right now. But I just knew the type of dude he was, and it never came to that. So anyways, because he got knocked out by a black dude real fast, so he was out of the fucking equation. Brother slept him. So anyways, we're chilling, and little dude's like, come on, let's go. So we take a ride around these fucking trailer parks, right? And he's looking for this dude. He's like, it's best if I catch him outside. I said, well, no, it isn't. If you guys are going to do what I think you guys are going to do and go in there and fucking tie him up and take everything he has, and imagine the little guy trying to tie him up. With the fucking rope, he's trying to tie a 400-pound fucking white man up. How's that going to work? I don't know. Maybe the guy's just going to sit down, hey, let's play a game. I learned this at the circus, right? And he's going to fucking, you ain't never seen a video with a motherfucking strip, right? Bro, this motherfucker's carrying a rope, though, and it looks like in his hand, it looks like a big old rope, but really in real life, it's only that long. So I was like, bro, we're going to need to go to Home Depot and get more rope, because what you have and what you're working with right there ain't going, you can barely fucking get your hands around it. How are you going to tie that in a knot? He'll tie you in a knot before you tie that in a knot. So as we're looking for this guy, we hear some motorcycles. And I'm thinking, oh no, they done got me involved in biker business. That's the last thing on earth you want to be involved in, is club business, biker business, depending upon if they're outlaw bikers, 1%ers, or if they're just fucking regular fucking Christian bikers, or people that just jumped on a few fucking crotch rockets and want to get theirs, right? But you can tell by the sound of these engines and these motherfuckers are on choppers. They're on soft tails, choppers, and things of that nature. So as they come pulling up, there's three big old fucking just monsters, right? And they're affiliated with a club, but not a club that you're probably thinking, okay? They're not from the Vagos or Mongols or Hells Angels or nothing like that. They're from a little local whatever club that I had never seen in my life. But I mean, these motherfuckers look the part. They're very intimidating, right? And the big one goes, he's like, hey, what's up, brother? Give me a hug. He taps down and he fucking picks him up. What's up, brother? Fucking, I love your life. Keep tapping him on his ass. I love your life. You feel that, brother? You feel that? Go with it. Go with it. Go with it. Right? And he's like, stop it. Stop it. Right? And Roach is like, hey, bro, can I use your bathroom to do a shot? Right? I'm like, fucking Roach, you just hit like 5 minutes ago in the car. He was like, yeah, bro, but it's something about that. I love. You ever seen a white guy shoot up? The moment it hits, they do this. Right? It's like fucking their soul leaves their body. So anyways, he was like, Roach was different. He was trying to suck his soul back into his body. So every time he went, he tried to get it back. So I'm sitting there and they're like, hey, who's this, brother? And I'm like, hey, what's up? Meanwhile, at this time, I'm thinking, how did my life end up here? I'm reliving my life, the course of my life. I went from being just a regular old dude that's no longer active, having an old lady, a kid, chilling at the house. A few roaches, but like I said, if your flickers are on point, you're good. Eating honeycombs like my primo from down south. I mean, everything was living. I was living life. Old lady had a gang of kids, so I was getting a gang of food stamps. I mean, life was great at that point, right? And now, fast forward about 4 months later, I'm with a skinny ass white dude with a fucking needle hanging out of his arm. I'm with a little fucking short little person, and there's 450 pound fucking bikers looking at me wondering who the fuck I am. Can you see how life took a twist? So anyways, I'm like, hey, oh, what's up, man? My name's Gunner. They're like, all right, brother. And they're tapping me like, yeah, that's right. They're doing the P. Diddy on Justin Bieber. No Diddy, right? They're trying to figure if I'm wired. I'm like, no, bro. I don't get down. Roach is like, no, this is a fucking good ass Norteño. Well, we won't even explain his status, but he's a good fucker, right? And the little dude's like, nah, man, this is the homie right here. Every time he comes through, man, he's always, yeah, my ladies just love him. And I'm thinking that's because I bone all of them, but whatever. So we're kicking it. So we're all looking at each other like this. I don't know how they didn't catch it, because I'm like, we went from, we're going to go over there and kill this motherfucker and take our money and get our dope back and take his motorcycle and do all this. And I'm wondering how the fuck we're going to fit a motorcycle into a Honda Accord, but we'll figure it out. And the little dude's like, I'll ride it. I'm like, yeah, right, bro. Come on now, bro. Your feet are fucking that far from the pedal. So, what do you call it? Roach is like, no, I'll ride it. He'll ride with you. And I'm like, man, I just don't want to be caught up in this white shit. This is straight meatloaf shit. So we're kicking back, and one of these dudes, he sounds and looks just like Jack Black from the School of Rock, right? Everything he says, he's looking at me, he's going, right? I'm like, oh shit, every time he walks past me, he's like a Saint whisperer. He's like, I'm like, oh fuck, you done brought me into it. And meanwhile, Roach is just, he got about a half a pound of fucking crank on the table. These fucking Lil Woods is like swimming in it, right? Hey, brother, and then they start telling Sacramaniac stories. Remember in prison? And I'm like, we came over here to mangle people. These dudes are playing catch with, they're throwing them, hey bro, remember we used to do this in prison, right? They're throwing them like a Nerf ball. Smear the queer, Wood, right? And one thing about hanging around with Woods is they horseplay a lot and they sex play a lot. You know what I mean? Fuck around, slap them on the ass. He's like, hit it harder, brother. You know what I mean? If you're going to put, hey, if you're a white man, put some fucking strength into it. And Roach is like, it's probably got legs, right? I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm not really understanding, but I'm understanding that I want to get the hell out of here. This plan has went awry. But really, what they're waiting on, roaches, they're stone cold killers. I'll just put that out there right now. They're funny, they're goofy. But one thing about white men is when they're committed to something, they're stone cold killers. I've been around them in prison. I've seen them put in work. And according to, Sacramaniac policy, they're some of the hardest, craziest hitters, right? So I can see them kind of looking back and forth. They're looking at me. I don't wonder what, I'm trying to decipher what they're thinking. And a couple of those bikers leave. All right, brother, well, we're going to get out of here. It was nice meeting you guys, and that's some good shit. You're right. It does have legs. What's the shelf like? Like, Roach is like, call me. Here's my card. I'm like, don't give him your card. We're going to kill this guy. What are you doing? Right? He's like, yeah, hit me up. Hit me up, brother. It's all good. I'm like, and what are you doing having a card that says fucking crank dealer? Bro, we're going to have to talk. You white guys are different, bro. You guys get on a good one and think you're living in the Matrix. So anyways, Littlewood's pacing back and forth. Now he's looking at me. He's like, this fool has a knife, okay? This knife, that's not a knife. This is a knife. He has the Crocodile Dundee, the Rambo. It's like this big. Now imagine a little person with it. That motherfucker's lifted up. He looks like Conan the Barbarian, trying to swing at Red Sonja. I'm like, oh no, right? So this motherfucker, he can't hide it. I don't know where it came from too. If he was on his Wes Watson manual shit and he really cheeked it. But all of a sudden he comes out with this big ass butcher knife and he's like, I'm going to go ahead and need my money, brother. And the big dude's sitting there and he's smoking a leño. I remember he's smoking a big ass joint. And he goes, what is that, bro? And he's smoking, and Roach is like, that's a fucking bone crusher, brother. He's like, I gave this guy a whole bunch of dope. He gave it to you, so now I feel that you're fucking disrespecting me. And that dude's like, and you know where I'm fucking from, brother? And he's like, I don't give a fuck where you're from. And so they're doing the battle of Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man. The mega powers are about to explode. And of course, Doink the Clown's in the back with a big ass knife that he could barely balance, right? And I'm the Mexican kicking back there, wondering if this big fat dude has an old lady in the back that maybe I could possibly mac at, right? So I'm just, everything is going on and it's moving fast. And the dude is like this. He stands up and kicks the shit out of Macramaniac, right? Boom! And Roach rushed and I rushed, right? And we shouldn't have rushed. right? Because that motherfucker did the Kane and the Undertaker at the same time. Right? He choke slams me on the coffee table. The coffee table is sturdy because one thing about white guys is they're good architects, right? So this motherfucker has a nice solid wood oak table. So I'm thinking, okay, at least it's gonna break my fall, and it broke my fall, right? But it didn't move. It just when you hit a solid thing, just right? Fucking Roach is over there flailing, brother, this is white shit. 23, and he's doing his thing, and that dude's like, boat. So now you have one guy that got his whole ass kicked. He's in the front yard trying to fucking dig his ass out of a gnat hole, right? I'm a broke down Mexican on the top of a fucking coffee table that, like I said, is a very well crafted coffee table. And then of course you have the fucking dope dealer, the main dude, and this dude's going through his bags in his backpack taking more shit. And he's like, this is the way it's gonna be, brother. So now he's tying other motherfuckers up. I'm like, oh no, what happened here, right? This is what happens when you get 3 Bawosos. You know, a dropout northerner and 2 fucking white guys. One's small, the other one's tall. And you get him in the fucking midst of a big old biker. He's going to beat the hell out of us and tie us all up and then take everything we have. So as soon as this happens, Roach is screaming like, no, brother, right? And Roach pulls out a strap. I didn't even know he had it. Thank God he did, right? And then the big dude's like, brother, it's not like that. Brother, it's not like that. What do you mean it's not like that? I have fucking the Kung Fu grip fucking imprints on my neck. My back is done. You just broke my sciatic nerve. You kicked the little dude's fucking ass so hard, he doesn't have one anymore, right? And he comes mobbing in, and he's like, this is Sacramaniacs, brother. We're supposed to be brothers. And he was like, you guys came over to fucking jam me up, bro. And now he's plea bargaining his way out of it. Hey, calm down. Tell your homeboy to calm down. Tell Roach calm down. Roach is like, fuck you, Wood, right? I'm like, oh, no, this really is a murder thing, right? So I'm over there trying to hobble out of the house to get in my car to leave the white men to what they're doing, right? It ends up, hey, I go outside and I'm like in the car and I'm like, Roach, I'm trying to call him, it's blowing up. I'm like, what the fuck's going on there? I'm about to leave him. And Roach comes out, hey, I swear to God, and that dude's hugging on him. Brother, you fuckers are just too crazy. Come here, little Wood, get up here, right? You motherfuckers. And they're all friends. And Roach gets in, he's like, hey, we're gonna have to bust a couple moves because I left all the shit with them. I'm like, bro, we came over to get at the dude for fucking burning you guys and you left all your dope with him. He was like, well, he already had it out of the backpack. Needless to say, man, we ended up going to that dude's house a few more times. I'll never forget how he almost broke my back. Cool ass motherfucker. And he made it right with them. You know, to what degree of making it right, I don't know. I wasn't in the house. I bounced. But come to find out, the Macramaniac or whatever he calls himself, he was affiliated with the Sacramaniacs. You know, so if there's any Sacramaniacs out there that know who he was the little fucking dude that was ugly. And you can't miss him. His teeth were all fucked up. Anyways, with that being said, that's Super Wood of the day. We went over there, we got our ass kicked, and then, of course, in straight white man fashion, brother, it's race before taste, brother. We got to definitely stick together. There's not very many of us. And meanwhile, I'm the broke down ass dropout norteño that got beat up out of the whole situation. Works out like that sometimes. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming, and remember, man, if you have a raid cannon and a battery in your house, I could give you a recipe, but I choose not to. But Roach taught me some shit. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I honestly and truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. Shout out to Super Wood, man. Shout out to the Micro Mini Pimp. And shout out to Big Bull Hurley. That motherfucker. I remember he was like, hey, brother, I'm sorry about your back. You want to go for a ride on my bike? It's like a massager. He was like, just hold on. I was like, nah, bro, there's something about holding on to another man I don't like. He was like, we don't mind, Wood. And that was it. Bang, bang.